Welcome to the first video of this Flutter and ESP32 IoT series. Before we build any project, we need to prepare our development environment properly. Because in this series, we are not only writing Flutter apps, we are also going to use Firebase, ESP32, PlatformIO, Android tools, and VS Code. So in this video, I will set up everything step by step. This setup may look long, but we only need to do it once. After this setup, we will be ready to build our own Flutter app, connect it with Firebase, and communicate with ESP32. So this is episode 0 of the series. No project today, only environment setup. But this is the most important step, because if the setup is wrong, every future video becomes difficult to follow. Let's start. First, we need to install Visual Studio Code. Open your browser and search for Download VS Code. Click the official Visual Studio Code website from the search results. Now scroll down a little and choose the Visual Studio Code user setup for Windows. The VS Code user setup file will start downloading. After the download is complete, open the installer. First, select I accept the agreement, then click Next. Now it will ask where you want to install Visual Studio Code. I will keep the default location and click Next. On the next screen, click Next again. Now, this is an important step. Make sure Add to Path is selected. This will allow us to use the code command and VS Code tools from the terminal later. After that, click Next. Now click Install. Visual Studio Code will begin installing on your computer. Once the installation is complete, click Finish and open VS Code. Now our main code editor is ready. Now the second requirement is Git. Git is very important because Flutter uses Git internally, and many development tools also depend on it. If Git is not installed, Flutter may show errors like Git was not found or unable to find Git in your path. To install Git, open your browser and search for Git for Windows. Click the official Git for Windows website. Now click Download or click here to download the latest version. The Git installer will start downloading. After the download is complete, open the installer. On the first screen, click Next. Now it will ask for the installation location. I will keep the default location and click Next. On the next screen, make sure Add a Git Bash profile to Windows Terminal is selected. Then click Next. After that, most default options are fine for beginners, so we can continue by clicking Next through the setup screens. When you reach the final screen, click Install. Git will now begin installing on your computer. After the installation is complete, click Finish. Now, open a new PowerShell window. Type this command, git-version. If Git is installed correctly, you will see the Git version number. This confirms that Git is installed and working properly. Now, let's install Android Studio. Even though we will use VS Code for writing code, we still need Android Studio because Flutter requires the Android SDK, platform tools, build tools, and other Android components to build Android apps. Open your browser and search for Download Android Studio. Click the official link from developer.android.com. On the Android Studio download page, click the download button for the latest version. Now scroll down, check the box that says you have read and agree with the terms and conditions, and then click Download Android Studio. The Android Studio installer will start downloading. After the download is complete, open the installer. Click Next. Click Next again. Keep the default installation location and click Next. Now click Install. Android Studio will begin installing on your computer. After the installation is complete, open Android Studio. On the first startup screen, select Standard Setup and click Next. Click Next again. Now Android Studio will show the required components. Accept the license agreement, then click Next. Android Studio will now download and install the required components. This step can take some time, depending on your internet speed. After the installation is complete, click Finish. Now, Android Studio will open the startup window. Here, click on More Actions. Then, click SDK Manager. In SDK Manager, open the SDK Tools tab. Here, make sure Android SDK command line tools are selected. Also make sure Android SDK platform tools are selected. Make sure Android SDK build tools are installed as well. If you want to use an Android emulator, you can also install Android emulator from here. But in this series, I prefer testing on a real Android phone because it is faster and easier when working with ESP32 and hardware projects. After selecting the required tools, click OK. Android Studio will start downloading and installing the selected SDK components. When the installation is complete, click Finish. Now you can close Android Studio. At this point, Android Studio, Android SDK, platform tools, and command line tools are ready for Flutter development. Now we need to install the Flutter SDK. There are two ways to do it. The first way is using the Flutter extension inside VS Code. The second way is manually downloading the Flutter SDK. For beginners, I recommend using the VS Code method. Open VS Code, go to Extensions, search Flutter. Install the Flutter extension. When you install Flutter, VS Code will also install the Dart extension automatically. After that, press Ctrl-Shift-P. Type Flutter. Select Flutter New Project. If Flutter SDK is not installed, VS Code will ask you to download or locate the SDK. Choose Download SDK. Select a simple location like C drive, SRC, Flutter, or D drive, SRC, Flutter. Avoid installing Flutter inside program files because permission issues can create problems later. After the SDK is downloaded, VS Code should detect it. Now, open a new terminal and type Flutter Doctor. This command checks your complete Flutter setup. It checks Flutter SDK, it checks Android toolchain, it checks Chrome if web support is available, it checks VS Code, and it checks connected devices. If you see any warning, do not panic. Flutter Doctor tells you exactly what is missing. For example, if Android licenses are not accepted, run this command: Flutter Doctor --Android-licenses. Then press Y to accept the licenses. After that, run Flutter Doctor again. Our goal is not to make everything perfect immediately. Our goal is to fix the important Android and VS Code checks so we can build and run Flutter apps. Now let's prepare a real Android phone for testing. On your Android phone, open Settings. Go to About Phone. Find Build Number. Tap Build Number 7 times. This will enable developer options. Now go back to Settings and open Developer Options. Enable USB debugging. Connect the phone to your computer using a USB cable. When the phone asks for permission, allow USB debugging. Now, go back to VS Code terminal and type Flutter Devices. If your phone appears in the list, Flutter can detect your device. This means we can run apps directly on the phone. Now let's prepare the Firebase tools. In this series, we will use Firebase to send data between ESP32 and the Flutter app. But before installing Firebase tools, we need Node.js. Node.js also installs NPM, and NPM is required to install Firebase CLI. Open your browser and search for Node.js. Click the official website from nodejs.org. On the download page, click the Windows Installer option. After the download is complete, open the installer. Click Next. Now check I accept the terms in the license agreement, then click Next. Keep the default installation location and click Next. On the next screen, keep the default options and click Next. Again, click Next. Now click Install. Node.js will begin installing on your computer. After the installation is complete, click Finish. Now open a new command prompt window. Type this command: node-version. If Node.js is installed correctly, it will show the Node.js version number. Now type npm-version. If npm is also working, it will show the npm version number. If both commands show version numbers, Node.js and npm are ready. Now we can use npm to install Firebase CLI in the next step. Now install Firebase CLI using this command, npm install-g Firebase tools. After installation, check it with Firebase-version. Now log into Firebase using this command, Firebase login. A browser window will open. Log in with your Google account. Once login is complete, the terminal will show a success message. Now let's install FlutterFire CLI. FlutterFire CLI helps us connect a Flutter project with Firebase. This tool will generate the Firebase configuration files for our Flutter app, so we do not have to set everything manually. To install FlutterFire CLI, open PowerShell and run this command, dart pub global activate FlutterFire CLI. Now wait for the installation to complete. After installation, you may see a warning saying that the pub cache bin folder is not on your path. This means Windows can install FlutterFire CLI, but it cannot run the FlutterFire command from the terminal yet. If you see this warning, copy the path shown in the terminal. Usually on Windows, it looks something like this. Your username may be different, so make sure you use the exact path shown on your computer. Now, we need to add this path to the Windows user environment variable. Open PowerShell and run this command. I will add the command in description. Again, remember to replace techp with your actual Windows username if your path is different. After running this command, close PowerShell completely. Then open a new PowerShell or command prompt window. Now type FlutterFire -- version. If FlutterFire CLI is installed correctly, it will show the version number. This confirms that FlutterFire CLI is ready. Now, our Flutter and Firebase command line setup is complete. Next, we need PlatformIO for ESP32 programming. Open VS Code. Go to Extensions, search PlatformIO IDE. Install the official PlatformIO IDE extension. After installation, restart VS Code. You will see the PlatformIO icon on the left side. PlatformIO may take a few minutes to set up for the first time. Next, we need an AI coding agent for agentic coding. In this series, we will use an AI agent to help us write, understand, debug, and improve code faster. You can use any AI coding assistant you prefer, but in this video, I will show the setup inside VS Code. Open VS Code, go to Extensions. In the search box, type Codex. Now install the official Codex IDE extension. After installation, restart VS Code. Once VS Code opens again, the Codex extension should be ready to use. You can also use other AI coding tools if you prefer, like GitHub Copilot, Cursor, or any other agentic coding assistant. The important point is not the specific tool. The important point is how we use the agent. We will not ask it to randomly create the whole project in one command. Instead, we will give it clear instructions, fixed database paths, project requirements, and small step-by-step tasks. This will help us avoid messy code and make debugging much easier. After this, we can start building real projects. In the next video, we will create our first Flutter and ESP32 IoT project. Let's quickly review what we installed. VS Code for coding, Git for Flutter and development tools, Android Studio for Android SDK and build tools, Flutter SDK for mobile app development, Flutter and Dart extensions for VS Code, Node.js for Firebase CLI, Firebase CLI for Firebase project connection, FlutterFire CLI for Flutter Firebase configuration, PlatformIO for ESP32 programming, and Codex IDE extension for agentic coding inside VS Code. With this setup, our computer is ready for Flutter, Firebase, ESP32, PlatformIO, and AI-assisted development. If you face any error during setup, check the description. I will add all important commands there. You can also comment your error, and I will try to guide you. Now your computer is ready for Flutter, Firebase, and ESP32 development. In the next episode, we start building. Thanks for watching.